All right, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So just finished recording my live reaction to Haikyuu Chapter 397, I want to say. Sorry, my brain is really fried this morning. But yeah, hopefully I think that was a successful experiment because like I mentioned in that video, I've been meaning to get around to doing Shonen Jump live reaction reviews for a while now, but circumstances, world events, everything like that have kind of made those plans be put on hold. So figured today would be a good day as any to try to get back into that. So for all those of you that tuned into that, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully the One Piece one will be as successful. Oh, excuse me. Before we dive into the chapter, just a few quick things that I'm going to be kind of subtweeting about. And it's basically going to boil down to if you are a One Piece fan, I'm going to kind of ask that you all start boosting and supporting more marginalized voices in the community, especially with regards to, any discussions regarding race or politics in One Piece and the themes therein, with regards to certain arcs, like, say, Fishman Island, and how effective it is, and especially for critical analysis as well. I'm going to add request that everyone start following and listening to more marginalized voices on the subject rather than, say, a well established, mostly white crew that does the same and likes to claim to be progressive. Because it's been a week of disappointments with regards to that front. So I'll probably try to have a video out next week, kind of going over my thoughts on what exactly happened, explaining that. But thought I'd put that out there first before I dive into the chapter. And I know this will probably get me a ton of downvotes from people who don't like me getting all political on here, but who really cares? So, with that said, let us dive into One Piece chapter 982, Scoundrel Meets Scoundrel. Boys, we're still in the Gang Badges Oh My Family, Volume 28, Run Away from the Navy, as you have Gotti carrying Lola away in his arms, as you have Chiffon carrying her Beige and Pez in her arms and running away. Uh, I hope Oda's not going to end this with a cliffhanger where they get to the ship, then find Pound ship floating out at sea, like that's where he cuts it off. We have to wait till they reunite again at Elbaf with Big Mom to kind of get the end to that, but I have to wait and see where that goes. As always, we have translation by Stephen Paul, lettering by Vanessa Satone. So we pick up with back on Onigashima, where we have, hey, Black Maria, what happened to your mission? And she goes, oh, what's the harm, Supreme Commander? They can handle the search just fine without me. I'd rather be here. And you see Kaido's just having this drink, getting drunk, as Black Maria's just kind of draped herself on him. And he goes, whoa, ro, 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 ro. Very well. It's our one chance a year to party and mingle. Isn't that right, Orochi? The best day of the year. And he goes, good, indeed, Kaido. It is especially worth celebrating because at long last, the ghosts of Kozuki that have haunted me for 20 years are gone. And you have this stupid grin on his face as he's downing a bowl of sake, and he looks like he's already drunk. I'll get to thoughts about the Black Maria stuff at the end of the chapter because I don't want to derail the flow, kind of getting into thoughts about each individual thing. So anything I want to comment on, I'll wait till the end of the chapter to comment on it. And you have Rocha continuing, soon Conjure will arrive. Now that his 20-year acting role is finished, he should be with the captains of the battleships that sunk the Akazaya Samurai under the waves. And you see Kaido munching on some, I don't know what the hell, he's munching on something as he goes, that's very impressive, and I could have easily killed him without realizing it. It's too bad, though. If a man who was so utterly trusted claims that Oden never told him anything, then it would seem that he gave no hints to a samurai about getting to Laugh Tale. I'll talk about that at the end. Then you have some of the gifters freaking out, going, eek, who are you? Oh, it's not the waiters or the gifters? I don't think it's gifters have the Yeah, I can't remember. When it's the pleasures of one of them, I can't remember. Don't really care. And you see, pardon the disturbance. I have business with Lord Orochi. And you see, Conjuro's knocked out some of the goons as he's coming into the room. And you have Orochi going, ah, there you are, Conjuro. And Kaido goes, stop it, you fools. This is Orochi's man. And Conjuro goes, has been a very long time since we last met Lord Orochi. This mansion is so large, I got a bit lost. Everyone who took me for an enemy and attacked met an untimely end by my weapon. My apologies. So you have Shogun Orochi's spy, Kurozumi Kanjuro. And you see Orochi going, hey, what's that in your other hand? Ooh, and you see a bloody and beaten up Momonosuke's face is completely swollen and bruised. Looks like he tried to escape at some point. Kanjuro beat the shit out of him. Goes, as you requested, it is Kozuki Momonosuke, the son of Oden. He cut his ropes and attempted to escape along the way, so I had to pacify him. And you see Kaido's looking a little bit angry at this as he's watching and not saying anything. Kanjuro goes, don't worry, the boy still breathes. And Orochi goes, you did that to the heir of the Kozuki clan? The clan that was your so-called patron? Mwah! Man without blood in his veins. And Kanjuro goes, now that my role is over, he is merely some child to me. Kaido goes, I'm stunned. I do remember you. You were one of the Akazaya 9. And he looks at Momo and he goes, and I remember you very well. And Momo flashes back to when Kaido was just holding him off the edge of the building, going, your father is a fool of a lord. And he goes, you look exactly the way you did when I was disappointed in you as the son of Oden. And you see Kanjuro is thrown him to the ground with a thud. He goes, yes, he's nothing but a little brat. A brat entirely unfit for the greatness of his name. Yeah, Black Maria kind of just scooping him up, going, oh, the poor little boy, you've beaten him bloody, as Kaido just chugs his drink. And Orochi goes, well done, my good man. Let us raise a toast to Kanjuro. Kanjuro bows and goes, no, Lord Orochi. And Orochi freaks out and goes, you failed to stop their operation, but that was your information. And he goes, I'm sorry, my lord. I've been around Kinemon for many years, but I've never known him to be so thorough. Oh my god. And Orochi's like, so their fleet is coming here to Onigashima? And you see a zwip as Fukurojo drops down, and he goes, there's no reason to yet fear Shogun Orochi. And you have Fukurokujo. It's like, there's not a single ship to be seen at the dock. And he continues, but the trio of battleships we sent out have not yet returned. And 4 pirates have been sighted on the performance floor outside. My god, I love these ridiculous, like, it looks like the face Usopp made back in Skypiea when he's making, like, the little shark face. It's the same thing where you imagine things like he's imagining all the 4 supernovas like these grinning shark faces. Ridiculous. Straw Hat Luffy, Pirate Hunter Zolo, Eustace, Captain Kidd, and Murder Machine Killer. It's quite likely that all the members of these pirate crews have already disembarked upon the island. And Orochi's like, why didn't you report that? And he goes, Master Queen was handling the situation. I thought it better not to disturb the feast. And there are no witness reports of suspicious samurai around. In any case, our entire concentrated might is present here on Onigashima. Nothing can possibly happen here that will put us in danger. And you see Kaido going, whoa, ro, that's right. Drink up, Orochi. So you have Black Maria going, oh, let me pour, my lord. She pours Orochi a drink, and you see his hand just shaking and rattling as everyone's laughing with a yeah behind him. And he's thinking, no, I don't want to hear reassurances and platitudes. I want to report that the samurai are good and dead. And you have Momonosuke lying there, beaten bloody, going, Luffy's here on the island. Find a way to survive. We'll go and rescue you. But not everyone else? No ships? Kinemon, is everyone else all right? And you see Orochi just grabbing Momonosuke out of Black Maria's and going, give me Momonosuke, Black Maria. And she's like, ah! And he goes, that's right. I mustn't forget. This is the enemy's leader. Oh, God. He's really trying to go, like, win the most bastard award. He goes, arrange a crucifixion stand on the stage. I will kill the last surviving Kozuki here and bring their history to its miserable end. And then this whole ordeal is behind me. And you see Hatsi near Onigashima. Is that you, Cat? You were late. Did you just get here? And you see on the yellow submarine, it's like, yep, we just climbed the waterfalls, or climbed the falls. Meow. Do you have any idea what date and time it is? The night of the fire festival, the big battle. Just in time for the action, right? And Dogstorm goes, that will depend on you, Gara. We're already heading to the northmost point of Onigashima. He goes, gotcha, see you there. It's like, no, wait, hey, Cat. This Cat Viper just hangs up on him. And Kawamatsu's like, sounds like he hasn't changed. I just hope he arrives in time. And Okiku goes, I suppose Kitty must have grown up just like Toggy has. That's adorable. And you have Shura going, they better go top speed because we're nearly at the back door. And Log goes, because of the twisting currents, a typical ship can only approach the island from the entrance. And Raizo goes, let's hope that Kinemon and Denjiro have made their way around to the rear as planned. I wish for us all to be there so we can fulfill Lord Oden's desire together. Just please be safe until then, Lord Momonosuke. And you see, back on the waves around Wano, you see Cat Viper's little elephant ship riding on the waves. As you have, everybody sounds good to me. They're in the middle of the raid, so they'll call. So they're in the middle of the raid. Someone else goes, so they call that separate little island Onigashima now? See Marco sitting on a barrel going, go figure that we showed up at the same time. Alright, hold on. What was the point of me asking you to send a message to Straw Hat Luffy then? Cat Viper goes, meow, 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 meow. No kidding. Guess I'll toss out this note then. And you see the Cat Vipers, men, the Guardians, what is the Brody and the... Oh, God, I can't remember what the hell the Bulls... Either the Bull was Brody or the Gorilla was, I can't remember. Going, you mean the guy who wrecked up Zoe is just an officer? We're in for a big fight. And you have someone going, I'm surprised you got... Is that Izo? Going, I'm surprised you got involved, Marco. And he goes, is that Izo? I can't tell. Look, I love Oden, but word from Wano doesn't travel out of the country. I never thought things had gotten this bad. You have the, let's hurry. I got a genius plan in mind. As you see the note, oh, God, all right. We're going to have to talk about that note at the end of this chapter. As you see, the note that Marco wanted to give Luffy was, I might be late, but I'll be there. Marco. And you see Team Denjiro, Southern Forces. As you see Sasaki meeting up with Denjiro and his forces going, Kyoshiro, what gives? I heard you weren't coming this year. Kyoshiro's like, yeah, keep it a secret. And he's like, Bwah, you snuck in? What happened to your fancy pompadour? I wouldn't have, and Kyoshiro goes, I wouldn't have expected you to slip out of the feast either. And Sasaki's like, yeah. You have Animal Kingdom Pirates, Tobiropo Sasaki. He goes, it's Kaido's kid. He's gone missing. Couldn't have left the island, though. Got all the boys looking for him. I'll come back to that. And you see here, too, a gate not found on the mansion plans blocked the way. But it was an easy obstacle for Kyoshiro the Yakuza to slip past. And you see a clank. Oh, my God. Next page is, huh? What are you doing, Kyoshiro? What's the meaning of this, huh? And you see Sasaki getting tied up. Arms spread as he gets tied up to the door, I assume, of the gate. As Kyoshiro goes, gag him while you're at it. And Kyoshiro starts to show off how swole he is as he's taking off his kimono and goes, do you know much about Wano's history, Sasaki? As you finally see the tattoo of the Kozuki clan on his back. Sasaki's looking at him surprised. As you have, with one of the dangerous Tobiropo out of the way, the southern forces split in two like the eastern to bring themselves closer to Kaido. So you see another one is again intersecting through the middle of the skull while the other one's curving around like a pincer moving towards the back. And Kyoshiro goes, go inside the dome from here. And you see assault team and dome infiltration team. You have, meanwhile, Team Kinemon, Eastern Forces. Chopper goes, direct hit! As you see Big Mom raging and running at them. Oh, good. At least we're not getting Olin yet, but we have, hand over your captain to me right now, Straw Hat crew. She's chasing after the Brachio tank, which is just backwheeling as fast as they can, with Usopp and Chopper just freaking out. And you see the samurai pulling Kinemon out of the water as they fled in terror but made sure to do it the opposite direction. It's like, we are in your debt, Sir Usopp and Chopper. Now is the time. Let us move forward. And you see them taking off as they go right behind you. And you see also Nami, Carrot, and Shinobu watching as they go, Usopp, Chopper, hope they're okay. And you see Chobro. And you see them going, oh, well, like, that's it? That was Big Mom. It's like, exactly. What are we supposed to do? And as they're running through the pleasure hall, you see, I found you, all shining style, as Prometheus pops his head out of Big Mom's dressing room. And you see, as Nami's climate tech starts rattling and shaking. And she goes, oh! And you see Prometheus going into his angry mode as he goes, it's the woman who kidnapped Zeus! Mama! And you have them screaming, ah! As he's about to attack. And then we get inside Kaido's castle. You can do it, Pei-Pei! You can do it, Pei-Pei! You can... Oh, I'm so tired. So don't take along with me. Search somewhere else. So, are you telling me what to do? And you see Ulti just doing a pouty face going, I was like, oh my stars, I just can't go on. Pei-Pei, I'm ever so tired. And Page One's like, that's not my problem. Stop running then. And she gets pissed off and jumps on his back and goes, you're supposed to offer to carry me. Don't drag me down. Page One screams, don't drag me down, as Ulti just glomps onto his back in a death grip. As you have Animal Kingdom Pirates, Toby Ropo, Ulti, and Page One. And you see, and eek! As they fall down the stairs where Luffy's fighting. He goes, And some of the Kaido's goons go, is that Ulti and Page One? And you see that they've landed right in front of Luffy. As Ulti goes, or Luffy and Ulti exchange a look and go, It's like, who the hell are you? No, who are you? So we get next chapter hits June 21st. Man, all right. Thoughts. All right, I guess we'll start from the beginning and I'll go kind of in order about thoughts on it. First, I guess overall entertaining chapter, but oh my god, the pacing is so slow in this chapter. It seems like there was so much unnecessary dialogue and moments that Oda didn't need to drag out as much as he did. Which, when compared to, like, I've criticized the flashback in past videos and talked about how Oda rushed it too quickly. And fans were giving like all sorts of excuses for why he was rushing in. It was okay. And, he has his reasons, blah, blah, blah. And then when we get to moments like this where he's clearly just dragging stuff out, it's like, all right, I think Oda really needs to start taking like a month off, like a couple of weeks off every now and then, just to tighten up his plotting and stuff a little bit tighter. Because it's clear, like, flying by the seat of his pants is kind of messing with his pacing and everything a little bit. But I doubt at this point that's really going to change much, so it is what it is. Seeing Black Maria staying next to Kaido instead of going out after his son. I could dig in. I could not dig in. I could. What the hell's the word I'm looking for? I could think of reasons why that's problematic, but I think I'm going to speculate the reason why she's doing it. So I mentioned this in my last videos. I suspect that Black Maria might be a CP0 plant. As I mentioned in my last video, but Stussy was the queen of the Pleasure District, and seeing that Maria is also part of that, I wonder if she is a CP0 plant on Wano. Has been keeping an eye on Kaido and his forces and seeing what they're up to. And I also mentioned in my last video that we did know that Drake pointed out that CP0 had been in the capital a few days prior, before all this started. So I wonder if they are actually here to see Black Maria to get kind of like a status update on what was going on with Kaido and his goons. So it makes me curious if that's why she's doing this whole, I don't want to go chase after Yamato. She wants to stay close to Kaido to keep an eye on what's going on so she doesn't miss any kind of pertinent information. But for now, that's just complete speculation. I do like the reveal that actually no Conjuro is a badass swordsman, and now that he no longer has to fake it, he doesn't have to pretend to hide his skills as such anymore. But yeah, the whole Momonosuke getting beaten up bit. I'm on mixed minds of that because I can see why Oda's doing that with Orochi and Conjuro, where he's like, he's pulling kind of all the tricks out of the bag to be like, yes, these are the bad guys. Look at how evil they are. They're beating up innocent, defenseless children. All their scumbags. But it doesn't really have the same impact as, say, even what happened with the kids on Punk Hazard, or seeing Luffy getting beaten up as a child by was Blue Jam's forces back in the day. And I think for me personally, that's just because I don't really care about Conjuro. So ever since we got his heel turn, ever since we got his heel turn, a lot of the resentment we're supposed to feel against him should stem from us having been invested in him as part of the Akazaya Nine, and really kind of, for the fact that he was with us for 1.5 arcs before this one. And we're supposed to be kind of invested in the samurai struggle and in them as characters. But because Oda spent so little time actually building up that emotional investment, now we're seeing kind of how that was kind of the downsides to that. Where yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, objectively, I can see how this is supposed to be the moment that tugs at your heartstrings and creates sympathy for Momonosuke. It's supposed to make me be like, oh, Contra, that bastard! Oh, I can't believe it! Such a piece of shit! I want to see him get beaten up. But I'm kind of just sitting here going, yeah, I guess. Oh, he's evil. Yeah, I guess. Well, guess he's gonna get beaten down. And that'll be cathartic or something. But it's just not landing with the intended effect I think Oda wanted. So we'll see if that gets changed as we dive a little bit deeper into this arc. But I'm not really going to hold my breath on that. But it's interesting to see Kaido being disappointed or angry at Momonosuke, because I wonder if he's resentful of him for not living up to his father's legacy and kind of strength and everything. Because Kaido, I think Oden was one of the few people that managed to actually injure Kaido, even though he's invincible and all that. So I wonder if Kaido's resentful of the fact that, Momonosuke doesn't seem to have his father's like gregarious, forceful personality. And I wonder how much of that also ties into what we're going to see of Yamato, and how much he is going to be like Kaido, and how much resentment does Kaido potentially hold towards his own son for not living up to whatever standards. And I especially am interested in seeing that in regards to Kaido's own backstory, because I've done a lot of speculating on who's Kaido's father is, and I did a lot of theorizing back in the day about how Kaido's familial relationships could kind of be explored with certain other characters in this arc. So yeah, I'll have to wait and see how that plays out, because that could potentially be an interesting story, but it kind of depends on how it gets handled. And this also makes me a little bit more certain that Momonosuke might get through some kind of devil fruit power, might get like warped into a grown-up form of some kind, so that he can help in the battle against Kaido. I still feel like we're either going to see that, or he's going to have to play some pivotal role in this battle to kind of get Kaido's opinion of him to change. It seems like that's what this is all hinting at, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And, like, there's been a few of these things in this chapter, because I have been consistently on the side of this raid is going to fail, because things have been going too well for everyone. Putting out there, that's just a theory. It might not fail, but we'll have to wait to see how it plays out before I pass any judgments on storytelling before the stands come after me. But the fact that Fukurojo and the others are kind of downplaying the threat and being like, oh, there was no ships at the port. We didn't hear back from the battleships, but it's fine. We're good. Don't worry about it. Like Oda's really playing up like how much the Animal Kingdom pirates have let their guard down. And right now that's making them look more incompetent than anything else. And that really kind of undercuts a lot of the supposed tension and stakes we're supposed to be feeling with the Straw Hats as the underdogs and the Samurai as the underdog against these seemingly insurmountable forces, where Oda keeps playing them up as being these complete and utter careless dumbasses. So I feel like the other shoe's got to drop at some point where we get some kind of reveal that flips this around. Because right now it really is undercutting a lot of things, and I hope Oda's got a better plan because it's not the greatest. That's what I was going to comment on next talk. So, God, Orochi doing the crucifixion makes, because I was wondering if Luffy was going to be the one to show up on stage and be the one to stop this. But now I feel like if Orochi's going to be on the stage trying to execute Momo, I wonder if Zoro's going to get lost and somehow wind up there, and he's finally going to get his revenge back on Orochi for what he did to. God, why can't I fucking remember his name now? Cannot remember his name. It was the hedgehog guy. Cannot remember his name. Forgive me. But that could be a good emotional crux, because I think that was one of the few good, emotionally well done moments in Wano. So seeing a callback to that could be interesting. And then that brings us to the most disappointing and kind of annoying part of this chapter. Quick theory thing before this. Again, the ship can only approach from the front is another interesting little kind of tidbit to drop on this raid. Because it makes me wonder why Oda's going through the thing of like, oh, well, Cat Viper can only approach from the front, which kind of, again, gives me the raid's going to fail vibes. But I don't have too much more to say about that. But I am super, super annoyed with Marco's message. I had time to think about while I was going through the other thoughts for this chapter. So it looks like the implication is that Marco flew from wherever it was Whitebeard's Island to Wano, and he happened to meet up with Cat Viper just as they were getting there. Which would explain how he got above the waterfall. If he was flying, he wouldn't have had to circumvent the oceans and everything. But the whole reveal at this point, the Marco's message was just, oh, I'll be there later. Don't worry about it. It ticks me off because this is another typical Oda track that's reminiscent of stuff we've been heard about him before, where it's like our Oda doesn't like people guessing his story. And I really hate this idea that somehow surprises in storytelling are inherently good. And if a story is predictable, that means it's inherently bad, which is the furthest thing from the case, because a story being predictable means nothing more than the author laid out the clues well enough that an astute reader could have picked up on it, and the progression of events was logical, hence it was predictable because the author laid it out well. So this idea that, I have to put in these little red herrings and deliberate teasers just to have people speculating on nonsense that's not going to be true, so I can spring a surprise on them like Marco showing up, is just shitty storytelling. And having the whole thing of like having Oda put out this whole mystery so people are speculating on, oh, what's the message Marco's going to send? Oh, what's going to happen? And for the message just to be, I'm going to be late, but I'll see you there. It just ticks me off a little bit. But I'll get to the other Marco stuff at the end because I want to talk specifically about the message itself, even though I don't like it Marco showing up here. Sasaki getting captured so easily. Again, like Sasaki getting captured so easily, like, yeah, you can kind of try to write it off as the God, what am I trying to say? Yeah, you can write it off as, oh, he wasn't captured with sea stone cuffs. He'll break free at some point. It's just a temporary kind of roadblock. It's not a big deal. But again, this just really undercuts the Beast Pirates as an actual legitimate threat. Where it's like, all right, one of the Flying Six, one of Kaido's like top forces, gets tricked by a dude he trusted, and then they just chain him up, and he's just like, oh shit, well, guess I can't do anything. Oh no, Kyosho, what am I gonna do, man? You tied me up with chains. At this point in the story, do chains even do shit anymore? Like, it's kind of ridiculous at the point we're at, where the strength level is so high. The people literally have enough power to like pulverize mountains, that a few chains are going to be enough to hold this guy still and be like, oh my god, he can't escape. Oh no. Like, the only explanation I'll buy is, yeah, they would be sea stone cuffs, which makes sense because we are on Wano. We know this is where sea stone originates. So it makes sense that they have a lot more readily available sea stone cuffs than any other place. But like, him getting tricked so easily, getting captured, like, this again kind of leads me to think that the raid has got to fail, because this is getting way too easy. Like, this would be like if in Enya's lobby, the Straw Hats just wandered up and all the government goons were drinking, and they managed to infiltrate this heavily guarded fortress with minimal trouble and effort, and just like because everyone was drunk and carousing. It's like it's the same kind of effect, which is why it's kind of just like, all right, there's got to be something that's coming out with this. That said, I do love that Oda went all in on Swole Kyoshiro, who's just like, yeah, the guy was just, doing nothing but lifting weights and working out for the past 20 years in preparation for this day. I'll say it would be a bolder move if Oda actually did that with some of the women in his crew, or women in the series and made them that buff. But again, neither here nor there. But again, the fact that we're always also dropping this thing of like, oh, there's these areas that are not on the mansion plans, and having them circumvent them so easily, I feel like that's also the fake out coming for the eventual twist of this raid is going to fail. Because right now it's like, oh, the Pleasure Hall. He's like, oh, they didn't know about the Pleasure Hall, but they got lucky because Kaido's forces weren't there. They were able to get through. They found this gate that wasn't supposed to be there, but hey, Kyoshiro knew Sasaki. They got super lucky and managed to get through it. It's like, all right, cool. But it feels like, because I mentioned this in the video where we're speculating on the figure that was following Robin and Jinbei, and I speculated on whether Yamato is an escape artist, and if whether he knows all the hidden entrances and secret ways in and out of Onigashima, and I speculated on art if he is really gonna be the anti-Kaido, basically anti-Kaido, and he's gonna join forces with them. I think that's where it's going to come into play in this arc specifically, is if the raid goes bad and they need to retreat at some point and they're trying to escape out, they start running into these roadblocks that initially weren't, huge barriers for them to overcome. I wonder if they have to retreat on the way back, that's when it's going to become a hazard, where they're trying to escape all different ways and they're like, oh shit, this wasn't on the plan, this place wasn't on the plan, this place wasn't on the plan, how the hell do we get out? And that's when they get corralled and trapped. I'm hoping that's what we get to see, and we get to see a little bit more building of stakes and the tension in here. Because right now, it's just it is way too easy. Oh, same with the assault teams also being split up as well makes me think that half of them will get away, half of them will get captured and start getting tortured. And then big mom chasing Chopper, and Usopp is like, yes, this is comedy gold. The two of the weakling trio are being chased by one of the emperors. The fact that they're going backwards makes me think that both of them are going to go canoeing off a cliff and fall on the ground. Big Mom's going to chase him like a mink, just go falling off the cliff, blink her head, turn back into Olin again. Like, I swear to God, that's what I'm expecting to happen. Is either Big Mom bonks her head, turns back into Olin again, or bonks her head, falls into the sea, floats back out of Wano, and the Big Mom pirates pick her up so that they get involved in the next arc. Because I don't think the Big Mom pirates will be involved in this conflict in any significant way. That said, we'll see what happens. With Nami running into Prometheus, I feel like she's gonna take Prometheus as her own as well, which would feed into kind of like Big Mom turning back into Olin again. Because I feel like Nami's gonna take Prometheus along with Zeus. That'll be her new power up. She'll have both Big Mom's forces part of her thing. I figure she'll do it the same way she did to Zeus by feeding him a heat egg and being like, "Oh, it's so yummy! I can't take it." And he'll join her, but we'll see. And oh god, the first thought that came across my mind when I saw Luffy and Ulti facing off against each other, both doing the "who the hell are you" giving themselves attitude, was me thinking, oh shit, this is gonna be Alvida 2.0 again, isn't it? In the vein of like, oh, Luffy's gonna like either punch or beat up Ulti, right, and keep giving her attitude, and she'll be some kind of weird masochist that'll be like, oh, he's talking back to me. No one's ever talked back to me like this before. Oh, I'm in love with him. I really hope that's not the case, but I got strong vibes of, oh shit, this is gonna be another one of those stupid gags where she falls in love with him, isn't it? But we'll have to see. Man, like I really hope at some point this picks up because while it's entertaining, I'm not invested in a lot of the struggle right now. That said, last little point here before I want to wrap up is talking specifically about Marco's message in relation to Weevil and the Whitebeard pirates. Because as anyone that's watched my past videos knows, I have speculated for the longest time that Wano will be the end of Whitebeard's quote unquote arc. We'll kind of finally get closure to, his crew and their struggles, where we kind of officially basically see them join the Straw Hat Pirates as part of the Grand Fleet. And, see, we finally get answers to what exactly is happening with the people that are related to Whitebeard, like what their backstory with him was. And the two very specific characters I talked about before that were Crocodile and Bonnie. And Weevil coming into the picture kind of cemented that idea that there's going to be a clash between them that will kind of illuminate Whitebeard's past with probably the Rocks Pirates. So that said, like Marco, I don't know if Marco's message is supposed to be taken as the idea that he was either underestimating Weevil and thought, oh, he's going to show up at some point. I'll kick his ass, tell him how wrong he is. It'll be no big deal. I'll be home in time for tea. And he'll be able to take off after fighting him and get to Wano in time to lend a hand. Or, because that's the only thing I can think of, is like, I have to go back and look at the timelines to see whether the news about the Warlord system getting abolished would have come out by the time Cat Viper and Marco met. And Oda's just kind of messing with timelines, so we couldn't figure that out. Which would be the only other reason it makes sense why Marco said he'll be there later is he heard about the Warlord system being abolished, and he was like, all right, I'm going to wait to hear news about what happens with Weevil, because I know the Marines said no to capture them. So that's why I say I'll be there later. I'll see what happens with him. Once I know Pops' island is safe, then I can head to Wano and help out with that stuff. But this is where I kind of get into my thoughts on Weevil specifically as a character. Because ever since he was introduced, but one question in my mind was always, why the hell did Oda introduce another warlord into the story at a time when the warlords aren't really relevant to the story anymore? Because once we beat Doflamingo, like that was the last of the warlord arcs, as I saw it. I'm like, all right, we're now entering into the conflict with the emperors. I don't see the need to have another conflict with the warlord for any other reason, because it seems like a downgrade of how the conflict is supposed to escalate in the New World. And then when I was thinking, when I was theorizing, well, all right, maybe Oda is gonna have Weevil just be kind of like a temporary stopgap measure before Reverie. When the Warlords get abolished, he'll have like a bigger role to play later in the story. But we never got that because Straw Hats all headed to Wano. Weevil was still out there, and he still wasn't dealt with. Then I'm like, all right, maybe Weevil will show up at Wano at some point because he's gonna go see Marco. We know that's gonna happen. We know Marco sent a left message to Luffy. Maybe Weevil will think that's the treasure, and he's gonna chase after Luffy to find out what the hell it all is. But we didn't really get that materialized either because we just got, all right, Warlord system's abolished, and now the Marines are chasing after the Warlords to capture them. And I've seen speculation of, all right, what if the Marines have captured Weevil, and that's why Marco felt free to, show up on Wano in the last chapter. But this message kind of muddles that because I'm like, all right, it really depends on timing. Because how would Marco have known that Weevil was going to get captured? He wasn't a threat, and that he'd be able to leave so freely. So, like, I don't know what Odo is thinking with this plot point or what he's doing with Weevil. Because if Weevil was captured by the Marines as like a show of force to show like, hey, this new science department we created really works. Look at this. We caught, the self-proclaimed son of Whitebeard, this guy that's been going around causing all this destruction. Yeah, that'd be fine. Like maybe the arc will end up with like Weevil showing up in a future arc, and they'll deal with him then. But why introduce him as the warlord, and then immediately have him get captured by the Marines as like a plot device to show off their strength? Like it doesn't make sense to me that the news would somehow be that Weevil was captured, and Marco's like, "Whew, all right, guess I can go to Wano now." So uh, I guess Oda better pull one hell of an explanation out of his ass for what exactly happened with Marco Weevil, everything else, and why Marco felt okay telling them, I'll be late, but I'll be fine. Because I'm really curious as to what the hell Oda's thought process was. I think I still maintain that we are going to have to see an end to Whitebeard's arc at some point. I don't know if that's going to be happening in Wano or if that's going to be happening in some post arc, like mini arc, something else that the Whitebeard pirates get involved in. Will really depend because right now we've only seen Marco, Izo, Cat Viper, and Dogstorm from the old Whitebeard pirates have shown up here. If I'm right and the raid does fail and the Straw Hats need some backup, because I still expect the Grand Fleet to show up, I could see the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates showing up with that as well. But yeah, right now it's kind of too early to speculate. But I still think that we eventually have to get some answer to. I think we're eventually going to answer to what exactly Jewelry Bonnie's relationship to Whitebeard was and why she was crying during the Marineford War when the whole thing with Whitebeard was going on, and closure to Croc's story and what his rivalry with Whitebeard was like, and an answer to whether Croc's scar and loss of hand was from Whitebeard for something else, because those are still two characters I feel like Oda has bigger plans for in the story, apart from just being, two of my personal favorites. And I feel like they're going to have to show up at some point, especially Crocodile, because Oda's been teasing him in every post-arc little snippet where we've seen him either reading the newspaper or doing something, monitoring the current news. I don't think that's a coincidence. Oda keeps flashing back to him, flashing back, or not. I don't think it's a coincidence. Oda keeps showing Croc reacting to news and just kind of staying silent. I feel like something's going on, but yeah, right now, really need to kind of wait and see. Wait and see what shape that's going to take. I hope Oda starts ramping up this infiltration because right now it is slow as hell. I do appreciate that finally we're at least seemingly getting some of the Beast Pirates development because they badly, badly needed it. And hopefully, God, I hope this conflict picks up before the end of this year, but I don't know. Because Wano's almost Dressrosa length, and I still cannot see the end of it. Like, I cannot even legitimately say that this arc is going to end in 20, 30 chapters. I cannot tell when it's going to end. And it's almost the length of one of the biggest arcs in the series. So hopefully Oda pulls up his game. We'll see what happens with all that. But yeah, I think I've done enough rambling now. This video was a lot longer than I expected it to be. But I hope you all enjoyed the first experimental Shonen Jump live reaction review for the series. I'll make this a ongoing thing now. Start going from here. So I'll try to do it at the same time every Sunday. So around 11 o'clock every Sunday, I'll start trying to do the live streams. I think that gives people a chance to kind of read the chapter and gather their own thoughts before if they want to dive into discussions or conversations on the stream with me. With that said, so next week I will try to get out a video talking about what exactly has gone down with the One Piece podcast, because a lot of stuff has kind of gone down, so I feel like I need to talk about that and what happened, just to clarify some things. So hopefully you look forward to that. As always, if you like my videos, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really does mean a lot. Appreciate everyone's support for my videos last week. Seems like I've driven away most of the trolls on my channel. So I'm not getting as many views on the videos, but still get more positive reactions to it. So really appreciate that. Until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.